Hello, fellow page chewers, fellow panel chewers. Welcome back to the to the panel chewing pick of the week podcast. We're 5 seconds in and I'm already misspeaking, but it's okay because we're going to roll with it, professionals. So welcome back to our weekly comic book episode where we discuss the comic books we pulled this week. We end the show with our favorite book of the week, and after that we discuss our current group read, which is the Frank Miller run on Daredevil. And we picked this title and this story arc because it is free for anyone to follow along on Libby or Hoopla. There's lots of free stuff on Libby or Hoopla, and all you need is a library card. So be sure and take advantage of that. Even if you weren't reading along with us, there's tons of comic books to read there for free, and tons of books and music, movies. So go check that out. All that said, Jarrod, how's it going?
Okay, how are you doing, Steve? I'm
doing okay.
Good. Yeah. Reading a lot of cool comics. So.
Yeah, it can be all bad. I mean, it's look forward to talking comics all week long. So it's always a fun time to sit down and just BS about comic books.
Absolutely, yeah.
So I'm sure anyone who listens to the show regularly will probably know why this topic was picked today. But we wanted to discuss our favorite artists, our most influential, or the artists that caught our eyes, that got us into comics or kept us going in comics. And we wanted to throw around a few names to just talk about artwork that has appealed to us through the years. If you are listening and want to share your list, share it with us either on the forum or on the link below to send us a message, or in the comment section on whatever platform you're listening on. Jarrod, what's an artist or who was an artist that has been one of your favorites through the years?
Yeah. Well, I got to say, one of the artists that stood out to me that probably sucked me into comics, especially superhero comics, was the mighty John Buscema. When I first started collecting comics, I read a lot of independent stuff to start with because I was looking for fantasy, and during the late 80s, there was a black and white boom that had a lot of fantasy stuff. But it was when Marvel put out a new Wolverine series, and the artist was John Buscema, and I didn't know who he was at the time, but that artwork kind of drew me in. And then, of course, I discovered much later that John Buscema is the one who's responsible for most of the Conan run in the 70s. And going back and seeing his amazing work on the old Savage Sword of Conan magazines and the regular Conan the Barbarian comic was simply amazing to go back and find like this treasure trove of stuff that I had missed out on as a little kid. Yeah, he's a big one. He's definitely a big one.
Thinking back, I remember, I think some of the first comics that I got into when I was younger, which we've kind of talked about while we read the Uncanny X-Men run, was probably Byrne on X-Men or Cockrum on X-Men. Just very clean, very clear. I mean, just excellent artwork. Him and, of course, Jim Lee. Anyone who read comics in the 80s, it was his heyday. I know he's kind of very sporadic right now, but he has a lot on his plate. And Mark Teixeira is another one that comes to mind that he did a run of Wolverine back in the 90s that really caught my eye.
Yeah. John Byrne was definitely on my list as well. Like you said, mainly for the X-Men, but he also did some other runs too on other titles that was like he was the sole reason I even picked up the title. I wouldn't pick up Namor the Submariner normally, from Marvel, but it had John Byrne written and drawn by him, and I was just like, okay, I'm in.
Yeah. Yeah, there's certain artists that you follow around. Another one is, of course, Jason Burrows. I like his art style, and I think of a few others that are, or back way back, I remember seeing now everything is available to us. We can read pretty much anything we want. But someone I knew had a Faust comic, and it was the Tim V Hill artwork on it, the black and white. It was that artwork also the black and white. And there was a lot of older Savage Sword of Conan's that I had that I don't remember the artist, but the art style is kind of what pulled me into it.
Yeah, yeah. And another one of my favorites is Goseki Kojima from
Hmm.
Lone Wolf and Cub fame. Um, I really am astounded by his artwork and his highly detailed and kinetic style. Um, that he could draw motion like nobody else, and I that was like that's really the only manga I really devoured was because of his artwork that I did. Not a huge manga fan other than that, but if when it's something done to that level, like I'll get into it. And I know he was a big influence on Frank Miller. Um,
Hmm.
so that if that tells you anything,
Yeah.
he's he was one of my he became one of my favorites once I discovered him.
No, back in it's funny how things have changed. How things have changed in the comic book industry, because those of you who were around for the '90s, the whole image thing, it seemed like it was everything was more visual, and it was more
Hmm.
about the artwork, and story kind of took a back seat. You go back and read a lot of those image titles that I thought was I thought was awesome when I was 11, 12 years old. You read it now and it's like, well, this is really bad. But of course, like Todd McFarlane is another one. His work on Amazing Spider-Man and Spawn, very stylized. So, but it's funny how things have changed over the years, and it's shifted to story and artwork now. Is it's not so visual.
Yeah. No, I definitely admit that I got sucked in by the razzle and dazzle of the image crew of the
Yeah.
McFarlane and Jim Lee and all those guys, Mark Silvestri
Mhm.
and what have you, and very pleasing to the eye. They very highly detailed artwork that they put out was always nice to look at. But there was something about, like you said, there wasn't much to the story. Not, but it wasn't just in the writing that there wasn't much to the story. The artwork didn't convey the same level of story that somebody like a Buscema and a Byrne did.
Mm.
And yeah, especially like even the level of artistry that somebody like Dave Givens put into Watchmen
Oh
was
yeah.
incredible. And you look at his figures and his people, and you think, oh, okay, it's kind of average. It's not the super detailed stuff, but the way he told the story through the pictures was just simply amazing, and the way he set up the frames and the way he did the 9 panel construction on the page was a level of artistry that is, I think, was definitely underappreciated when the '90s came around and
Yeah.
the image boom happened.
It's a good point. I think now, as well, anyways, I think in general, but also for me personally, I've come to appreciate more the layouts, the way that a page is constructed and all fits together. I think in the '90s, it was more about something you want to hang on your wall that just looked nice. Like you said, it was less about telling the story through the art. It was more about cool pictures on the page
Yeah,
that somehow they may try to make a cohesive story out of it. So it was a lot of pockets and muscles and no feet back then. But yeah, we've come. I think the the art form, the comic book format as a whole has really changed, and I think it's a lot. The quality now is a lot better than it was looking back.
yeah,
You look at something like the Sacrificers and Max Fiormara. His artwork is, I mean, incredible, and that's artwork that you can remove all the text from the page, and you can still get an idea of what's happening.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I'll give the image guys credits. They did change the industry,
Oh yeah,
and they I think that event allowed other artists to then go on and experiment,
It's
and
true.
I think we got some really good stuff out of that experimentation that came around afterwards. Yeah.
Yeah. And I know like Leafield, and for looking back in the '90s, they were rock stars. They were on the Tonight Show, and now you talk about being on the Tonight Show, like who cares? But back then it was a big deal that they
Yeah.
were, in like Levi commercials and shoe commercials, and it was wild. It was a crazy time, but it was fun. I mean,
Yeah.
and it was I think it was one of those steps that just had to happen. But now as I've gotten older and I look at like John Burns art or Cockrum's art, it's you have a different appreciation for it now that you can kind of understand the comic book format better.
Yeah. And I'm actually I'm starting to enjoy our read along here with Frank Miller's art. I think it's getting better and better.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll discuss more about that when we get to that. But
Yeah.
there's lots of things he does that I think are specific to, or at least I don't know if it happened beforehand, but there's certain tricks he uses to tell the story and certain ways that he constructs a panel that is unique, or at least for he was blazing trails for that. So,
Yeah.
but again, if you anybody listening wants to share their favorite artists, please let us know. We'd love to hear your list and let us know which artists are your favorites and why. With all that said, we can jump into the list this week. I had kind of a light week in reading, but we'll start things off with unfortunately kind of a downer, which is Dark Event Horizon Dark Descent #3. And I think the first issue I was okay with, and it's just gotten worse. So it's just not this. When they announced a prequel to Event Horizon, I was excited because I wanted to see, being a fan of the movie, I wanted to see what they did with the story because the story has, or the movie has the story where it's open ended and there's lots of mystery and things you don't understand. And I think that's what makes the movie frightening and scary, is because you don't really understand what's happening, and sometimes less is more. And with the prequel, we get the original crew of the ship, of the Event Horizon, and we get the events leading up to what happened to them. And it, I just don't like the direction they took with it. They took this un this force, this mystery, this dimension. I'm trying not to spoil the movie for anyone who hasn't seen a 30-year-old movie, but they put a face on it, and they made it to where it's something that you can see visually, and I just don't like the direction they took with it. I'm not a huge fan of the artwork. I've tried to really stick into it, but I think I've come to realize that, number one, do I want to spend money on this? And number two, do I want it to continue to let it ruin the movie for me? So so I decided I am out on Event Horizon Dark Descent because it's not, yeah, I'm not enjoying it, and it's just pissing me off, and it's just ruining the movie for me. So I'm going to enjoy the movie for what it was. And it is not like a masterpiece of cinema or anything. It's a good horror science fiction movie. So I'm going to enjoy the movie and kind of leave things as they were. But it'd be great to one day get a good prequel or sequel if it's done right. But Dark Descent,
Boy.
yeah.
All right. So, all right. I read Vanishing Point #6 this week, and another pretty solid issue from Mad Cave with their science fiction anthology here. One story per issue, which I really love. I prefer that, I think, over the anthologies that have like 2 or 3 stories in them, and you have to go jump from one to the next.
Mhm.
I think I like the single issue story type of anthology better. Um, and this was another story that has a this sci-fi premise, and then it focuses on the characters around the premise. And I liked this issue. It wasn't like the best one I've read so far in the series, but pretty solid. The artwork didn't blow me away, but
Hmm.
it served its purpose, and pretty solid issue, and I'm glad that I'm going to be looking forward to the next one. I hope they continue in this vein where they just put out just a good solid comic. It
Hmm.
doesn't have to be an all star every month like another book we rave about, uh,
Yeah.
if you keep up a certain level of creativity that and unique viewpoints on sci-fi stories, and then I'm gonna keep showing up, and so there you have it for Vanishing Point number 6.
Yeah, I think this, the anthology setup, Vanishing Point. Not every issue is great. I think it hits differently for everyone, but I think they're all good stories. Some are better than others, but it always leaves me with something to think about, and it reminds me of stories that I read that were written in the '60s or '70s, the science fiction stories that are weird and kind of
Yeah,
off the wall, and but it has a nostalgic value to it for me. But yeah, I think um, I like what they're doing. I think it's a solid series that know, it's it's the quality is pretty consistent.
yeah, it is.
Yeah,
It is. They seem to have a pretty good vision of what they want to accomplish. So
yeah.
it's well worth it. Uh, so next up, I have kind of a complete opposite of the Vanishing Point. This is Minor Arcana number 11 by Jeff Lemire, and this is this is the opposite in the sense that it's a slow burn, long story, and
Oh, okay. I had my
you have
finger on
to
on the trombone, but okay.
no. No, it's good, but it's something that you have to have patience with. You got to
Right.
be able to, you got to want to stick with it and see what's going on, see what kind of little details that Lemire is putting in the book, especially when it comes to characters and characterization, and just a little clues that he throws in there in all the scenes in this small town that he's in, and there's just nice little neat touches that are forwarding the story, but he's doing it in a way that you know you're not going to get any answers with every issue here. You're going to get a little hint here, a little hint there. You're going to get a little event. That event may be character related, or it may be related to the bigger overarching story,
Mhm.
and they they might not connect yet. And but you can tell that that connection will be coming at some point down the line. It's something that you can tell he has plotted out for quite a while, and that it's carefully crafted is the word I'm looking for, I guess. There's no doubt about it, and I think that if anybody jumps off the ship too quickly on this one,
Mhm.
they're going to be missing out on towards the end,
Yeah,
because it just feels like a well done, well plotted out thing that was is supposed to take 5 years or so to complete.
yeah, yeah. There's certain creators that you'll give them some grace and some time, and Lemire is definitely one of those creators that he has a track record of executing great stories. So
Yeah, so it's good stuff. I enjoyed it.
the next one for me is Liquidator #1. This is a new title from Mad Cave Studios, and this one is a mix of there's two movies that it reminded me of a mix of Time Cop from the I think the '90s and Predestination, an Ethan Hawke film that not a lot of people have seen that should see it because it's a great time travel movie.
Hmm.
But it's a mix. Basically, it's about people who are recruited to go back in time, travel through time to different time periods, and to maintain the timeline. So to prevent other people traveling around time or other people from changing the timeline. So changing things in history that could upset other things. To the whole thing, if you kill a butterfly, you travel in time, kill a butterfly, and can totally change the path of humanity or anything at all. So that's and the impact it has on them. So they do all this time travel, and how does it affect them? Do they lose their minds, that kind of thing? And it wasn't. I really like the premise. This first issue didn't blow me away. It didn't knock my socks off, but it was good enough for me to try issue 2 to see where it goes. So I don't know that it's on a short leash, but it's the kind of book that's not in your pull list, and you might forget to get issue 2 next time you go. The next time it's on the shelf. So it's one of those books where I'm not committed to the pull list, but I might actually forget about it next month. So it's on the fence, but it's not a bad issue. I think it's a nice setup. So we'll see where it goes.
Hmm. Okay, I got that on my pile for next week.
Yeah, it was okay.
Cool. Coming up here, I got a couple of superhero comics. First one is Absolute Superman number 13, and wow, what a build-up this issue was. A lot of action going on as our hero is trying to defend basically his home and his home on Earth, and it. Yeah, it had everything I think you would want from a superhero comic. Um, it had tension, build up, cool art,
Mhm.
um, and a lot of great cutaways, moments to certain characters that I'm enjoying actually keeping track of in here. I'm enjoying keeping track of this universe's version of Lois Lane and Jimmy Olsen and the people of Smallville, and I think it's just such a pleasant, different take on the whole Superman mythos that just really hasn't been done before. Whenever there's been like an alternate world Superman, it's always, well, what if he was born here and
Yeah.
the same stuff happens, and it's just and it's nothing's really that different. But this is over a year in here,
Mhm.
and this feels different, and I just like I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying reading a superhero comic that I don't know how it's going to end up, and I don't, you know, and the familiar is just familiar enough, but not overwhelmingly familiar, and everything still seems fresh and new. And I think Aaron's doing a great job of pulling that off.
Yeah, I like the title and the absolute line. I was hoping it would be like that. All the books would be like this. That they would all take chant. They would all do different things. And like you said, we've had stories before where it's small changes and we end up at the same place at the end.
Yeah.
So it's nice to see different things being. I think even giving it, and I hate to say this because it sounds so cheesy, but giving it almost a modern twist with the AI cape.
Yeah.
I
Yep.
think I mean, it works. I think it's neat. It's a
Yeah.
cool idea. And you can be pretentious and kind of, if you read this book in 10 years, I still think you'll enjoy even if AI isn't a thing, which it will be, but if it wasn't a thing, you wouldn't think it's lame. You'd think it's okay. Well, that makes sense. Like it would still
Yeah.
be a nice
Well,
twist.
that's a good point about the cape, and because he brought it in, and it could have been like a completely hit you over the head. Look what we're doing, modern Superman, AI, blah blah blah. But it's just a side part of the story.
Yeah.
It's not the main. It's still about the character, and it's not really the focus of the
Mhm.
story. I mean, I could definitely see it going down that road, uh, with a different writer who would just wanted to focus on that part of it, and that would bore me, I think. And
Mhm.
I think the modern touch of the AI cape is just enough, but like I said, it's not the focus, and that's where it should be. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a nice touch.
Yeah. So next I got JSA number 13, And I wouldn't normally pick up this title because I did pick up number one way back when it first came out because it's written by our friend Jeff Lemire.
Oh, okay. Cool.
And but I was very disappointed in number one.
I
It
remember.
was one that you hit the button on, right? So,
Yeah.
um, so surprise, surprise, I see this and I'm like, why did I pick this up? Because it said year one on the cover,
Mm.
and I was like, oh, okay. Um, hmm. JSA year one speaks to me about the World War II era,
Oh, okay.
and that's where the JSA to me was interesting. Having them being around now does not interest me at all. Um, and so I was like, okay, maybe Lemire is going to go back to 1940 and do something interesting with these characters who are supposed to be from then. And I gotta say, I think he has a pretty good start here. So this is like the start of an all new storyline that you haven't. I didn't I didn't feel like I missed anything at all. It's an all new storyline. It starts in the 1940s and it's staying there as far as I can tell so far. And I actually enjoyed that. I was like, oh, cool. This is it's nostalgic. The art style is very nostalgic, kind of simple line 1940 style art, without it being too cartoony.
Mhm.
Um, and it's not like blow me away art or anything like that, but it's cool and it served its purpose and it reflected that style. And we had the beginning of the threat of the Nazis and all that stuff, and um, it just had the beginning of that era that I liked,
Hmm.
that I associated with the JSA, that I definitely did not associate with what he did in the first issue. So I'm interested. I'm not. I'm a little cautious, a little wary, but I'm interested, and it seems like it's if anybody can pull it off, Lamaya might be able to do it.
Huh. So, would you say that this issue is a good jumping on point for someone who hasn't been reading
Yeah,
JSA?
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm doing. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Maybe I'll grab it if it's there at the store next time I'm there. Okay, so the next one for me is Rook Exodus number 8. This is a series that I just started reading a few weeks ago. For those who don't know, it's about a planet that is being terraformed or occupied by people who are trying to escape Earth because of course, Earth is running out of resources. This is in the future. A bunch of people go to this planet to terraform it you know to build a new world and ruin the next world, and things don't go quite as planned, of course, and most people leave, and there's a group of people left over, and these people are wardens, and they wear helmets that control certain animals that they have a connection with. So some people control spiders, some people control snakes or wolves or boars or birds, dogs. Everyone has a different animal that they can control. They work with them. It's a collaborative thing. So in this issue, we continue to learn about the characters, to build on the story, to build on the uh, current storyline, and it felt like a transitional issue that's trying to connect and try to build and kind of build that anticipation. So there wasn't a ton of major things that happened, but it was a good solid issue, really great artwork, and yeah, and it was a good solid issue. So I think this is a great series, and glad I ended up picking it up by accident. So yeah, good stuff.
I love those accidental finds.
Yeah, it was great.
Cool. So next up, I have an older book, but it was given to me as a gift, so I read it, and it says Batman Damned by Brian Azzarello and Lee Bermejo, and this is I think they worked on a book called Joker together.
Yeah.
Um, and this is kind of like the next thing they did, something like that together. And so I mean, first things first, the artwork is just the fully painted Bermejo artwork is just nuts,
It's nuts.
insane. Um, and that's I gotta say, it's hard to get past that. You can sit there and just stare at it for forever, and
Yeah.
get and kind of get lost in the artwork. But as far as the story goes, Azzarello gives us this tortured Batman, this really really psychological delve into what makes him him, and he brings in some supernatural elements into the story. So we get appearances here by John Constantine,
Hmm.
Swamp Thing, Dead Man, that kind of side of the DC universe, and it explores. Once again, it's another story that explores Batman's past. His whole hang up with his parents getting killed in the alley, um, and
Oh yeah,
and
that.
yeah, that little thing. So I kind of was like, on one hand, I was like, they're treading the same territory as so many other people have. But on the other hand, I was like, oh, it looks so gorgeous, though. I don't really care.
Yeah.
and um, and they did it from more of a supernatural angle, and it kind of worked. Um, so I was debating with myself. I think if it would have been any other week, then maybe this would have been a pick of the week, because it
Hmm.
was really fun. It was really great to look at. It was really fun to go through. Azzarello's dialogue is always kind of rough, like around the edges. Um,
Yeah.
he uh,
Yeah.
he he doesn't hold back, and so I like a lot of his style. He wrote Life, and he wrote 100
Oh yeah.
Bullets, and
True. Yeah.
so I like his dialogue sometimes. If you don't want anybody to be nice to each other. Um, so,
Yeah.
uh, so it was pretty damn cool. I think Damned was damn cool, and actually, since I got it as a gift, I think it would make a great gift for anybody for Christmas or what have you. So,
Oh
uh,
wow.
yeah, good book, good book.
Spread the Christmas cheer with a dark paranormal Batman tale.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's one that I picked up digitally a while back, and I started reading it, and I put it down. And I don't remember why I never came back to it, but I remember the artwork was really great.
Yeah, Vermeer's paintings are pretty incredible.
Yeah, wild.
Yeah,
Yeah. So it is that time. The time for the picks of the week. Jared, I am excited to. I was deliberately trying not to ask you about this book before we started recording because I wanted to hear about it, but I'm excited to hear what your thoughts are on your pick.
yes. So 2 weeks in a row, we are featuring Savage Sword of Conan number 11 from Titan Comics, um, and yeah, this was a heck of a story. I really enjoyed it. Even being like forewarned and pumped up by you, Steve. Um,
I was a little worried. I was a little bit worried about it.
yeah, but I think Liam Sharp, the writer and artist of this, and Sharp's been around for a long time. He's a really good artist, and but I think he really bore down, did his homework, and captured a lot of the great things about Conan that we love, and like his opening page in the prologue is almost an homage to Barry Windsor Smith's Conan, from like the Frost Giant's Daughter story that you read
Mhm.
there. That's almost like straight out of Windsor Smith's
Mhm.
playbook as far as Conan and how he looks and stuff, and the artwork just didn't disappoint from there. He uses a lot of the same techniques and um, layouts and stuff that John Buscema has done in the past, and that Windsor Smith has done, especially when he gets into the some of the crazy panels, circles and stuff like that. It's pretty cool stuff, and he's his artwork is highly detailed, and is and he really I don't know how long it would take him to draw one of these pages. It's crazy.
It is so detailed. I mean, there's so many little. I mean,
Yeah, just
the
the
page
whole.
is full.
Yeah, it is, and the whole surrounding, like when he has the arches and stuff, and the
Mhm.
trees, and it's crazy, crazy stuff. And I appreciate it, but I also appreciate the story too. I thought it was
Yeah.
pretty cool, how what Conan came up against, how he like not everything was as it seemed. It wasn't just, oh, I have to fight this guy, I got to fight that guy. There was a lot of questioning. There was a lot of is this the right thing to do? What do I do here? But there was also still, all right, now you pissed me off, and I'm gonna kill you, kind of stuff as well. And
Yeah.
so, yeah, it had it all, had everything you want out of a Conan story, and I really enjoyed my time with this one, and it took up most of the issue too. And these are these are good 50, 60 page issues here, so it took up most of it. There was only a room left in the back for a little short story
Mhm.
from Ron Maz and Danny Earls, and that one was okay. It was kind of average, but it's tough to follow up Liam
Yeah.
Sharp on
It's a
Conan, so
tough.
that's a tough ask. But
Yeah.
but uh, yeah, solid, great issue of Savage Sword again, and looking forward to more in another couple months.
Yeah. I think the only thing that could have dethroned that issue from being my pick last week was, of course, Assorted Crisis Events, because that's
Yeah,
next level stuff. But yeah, the artwork, Liam Sharp's art blew me away. The story was really good. I mean, just top to bottom, just excellent. Just great work. You could stare at those pages and find so many little details in the artwork.
yeah,
It must. I don't know how long it takes him to draw those pages, but it
yeah.
is insane.
And that's a case of, and it's all beautiful black and white,
Yeah.
and there's just something, I don't know what it is, something alluring about that it makes you take notice. It makes you want to stare at those details even
Mhm.
more. Yeah,
There's nowhere to hide. I mean, there's no. You can't use colors or
yeah,
to distract the eye. It is there on the page. It's almost declothed. It is what it is, and you can't really cover up things. It's just this I don't know. It's pure. It's there. So yeah, it's incredible artwork though. But yeah, I was worried. I was a little bit worried that I hyped it up too much, but I'm glad that you enjoyed it as much as I expected you to.
yeah. Great stuff.
So my pick this week is one that I've had before, at least in the series, which is Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees, Rite of Spring #4. This is a follow up. This is based in the 80s or maybe in the 90s. It's based in the 90s, sorry, where Sam, our favorite anthropomorphic, I always mispronounce the name. They're animals that walk around like people, and one of them is a serial killer. Her name's Sam, and they all look like stuffed animals. It looks like a children's story, and Sam goes around mercilessly killing people from surrounding cities, and she is hiding in plain sight. And in this issue, we learn kind of the so one of Sam's victims, his sister, is looking for her missing brother, and Sam becomes involved in that. And it is it you start to we start to learn more and more about how truly manipulative and just evil Sam can be. Of course, she's a serial killer, but it's a different level. It's more of a mental thing, and it's more of a mental manipulation and less of going out and killing people. So, and we also see what I thought was a nice touch is you also see the damage that she's inflicted on people, the victims' families that are left over and how they experience life now and how much life has changed for them. The void is left in their lives from having their family members disappear and wondering what happened to them. It was terrifying and it was also heartbreaking at the same time. It's a really great series. Patrick Horvath writes and draws this and doing a just fantastic job. So really great series, and the quality has been consistent throughout the main storyline, and of course now in Rite of Spring. I mean, it is really really good stuff. So it's yeah. I mean, like I said, it just really the it's always been a terrifying book because of Sam and what she's capable of, but now it's taken a different angle and just coming from seeing what how much damage she has inflicted to people, living and dead. So yeah, good, really good series. I recommend checking it out if that sounds interesting to you.
Is this a limited series?
I believe so. Yeah, I think it's 6 issues for this
Ah,
one, but yeah, it's. I think the first series was about 8 issues, if I remember right. But
cool.
yeah, so it's been really really good stuff. So it is that time to read, to discuss our group read, which we hope you're following along. You can find this on Libby or Hoopla for free.
I'm broke as shit.
And we hope you join us. We are discussing Frank Miller's Daredevil Volume 1, and we are going over issues 169 and 170. We discuss 2 issues per week, so you can still catch up to us. So, Jarrod, what are your thoughts on 169?
So I 169 was interesting, uh, and I feel like Frank Miller is really starting to really gel now. He's starting to get into this character. He's in his artwork is starting to take on a life of its own.
Mhm.
And I think 169 he was playing with all the. I think he was just playing with different means of action and stuff like that, and different scenes. Um, we we get a little we get really focused on the senses in this
Mhm.
issue. Like it's really focused on what he hears, what he smells, um, what he doesn't see, uh, and I kind of like that because he's starting to get into the aspects of Daredevil that make him different from other superheroes, and so that was pretty cool. I like the I like the explanation of Bullseye's meltdown in previous issue that we complained about right at the
Yeah.
time. At the time, we're like, why did that happen? And now
Yeah.
that he kind of just gave us an explanation for that. Yeah, he's got a brain tumor or something like that.
Yeah. No big deal.
Yeah. Uh, but I thought the ending of it was good when he's like, I hate you, and he tells Bullseye that, and but then he saves him like an idiot. But
Yeah. Yeah. I want to bring up there's a quote in the book, but I wanted to talk about, but yeah, Frank Miller's art, I really like his use of shadows and darkness and light and backgrounds. That he has certain solid colors in the background on certain panels. The way that he uses even panels that don't have a background for a reason. And there's one panel towards the beginning when Elektra goes into Daredevil's apartment, and Heather is there, and she has the yellow behind her with her like her nightgown, and the way the light is shining through. I thought that was really neat.
hmm.
So yeah, he definitely is. You see that he kind of getting, kind of his style, his signature style is coming through. But to your point about Daredevil and him saying he hates him, at the end, Daredevil discusses why he didn't just kill or let Bullseye be killed by the train. And he says, if Bullseye is a menace to society, it is society that must make him pay the price, not you and not me. I was curious. what you thought about that, because I would love to get a counter somewhere. And from this point forward in the Daredevil, in the, like, Daredevil's history, what is Bullseye's death count? How many
But yeah,
people has he killed since then?
yeah,
That so I mean, should he have let the train hit him? How many people has Daredevil killed and hurt? That
yeah,
you know,
yeah,
the train killed him, not Daredevil. but I
yeah.
get the sentiment. I get the sentiment that I'm better than that. So I do get his reasoning, but
It's
you know,
yeah. There's that. Well, there's that. Um, there's a level of enforced naivety built into superhero comics, and it's this idea that he won
mhm,
and everything's going to be okay.
yeah,
So Bullseye is not going to kill again. He's
yeah,
going to be taken care of. He's going to be in the prison. He's going to be in the hospital. He's going to be operated on. He's going to be better. And that's the underlying hope of what guys who go on vigilante streaks want to accomplish. It's the underlying hope behind Batman, and why he doesn't kill the Joker. And um, so
100 years later,
right,
yeah,
how and of course there's you know back in the '80s when this came out, the early '80s, that was still. I don't think they'd be questioning it like we are today.
yeah,
The readers back then. It's just that it's been 40 years or so of 50 years of that still playing out, and that naivety of the superhero still being there. And how long can old timers like us take that? Because we've grown up and we realize that it's if the villains are still around, then there's something wrong with the superhero system.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Uh, that's not realistic that those villains would still be around, but they are. So it's it really is just cognitive dissonance going on that you have to
yeah,
wrap your heads around.
yeah. Like you said, I think it's this naivete that the systems will work and they'll take care of Bullseye. They'll cure him. They'll make him. They'll heal him. But the systems don't always work. I guess maybe it's just part of it is just being cynical as you get older in a way. And
Yeah.
I think another part of it is for me is I grew up with anti-heroes, with Spawn and heroes that weren't like that. I mean, so even Wolverine back in the 90s that I read a ton of, he would chop people to pieces all the time. So, it's a different mindset, I think. And I always think back to our friend Critical Dragon over on YouTube when he would told us if you watch the show Arrow, if he would have explained the show Arrow to you, there's this guy who was lost in sea and he came back and he was killing his enemies, and you would think he's the villain. He's actually the hero. So it's interesting the way that heroes have changed over the years and
Yeah.
expectations and that kind of thing. So yeah, it's just an interesting thought experiment.
Yeah. And it's interesting too, that like right in the beginning of the next issue, we have the this poor cab driver who loses his means of living. Like they totally destroy his cab, and nobody thinks anything of it. It's just, oh well,
Yeah, he's fine.
Daredevil keeps going on and keeps going after the bad guy, and and I was just like. I couldn't stop thinking about that poor guy. Like, what's he gonna do? you know,
No big deal. He's just a
Yeah,
cab driver.
right?
Yeah, like he
Uh,
smashes that taxi. Yeah.
yeah. So, but speaking of issue 170, I do love the reintroduction of the Kingpin
Hmm.
and what he's been up to. I really like the introduction of Vanessa, uh, his wife there. I thought that was really cool. And it's interesting because a lot of this is is material for the recent shows. Um, on Daredevil shows, Marvel and Netflix, and so that's you can tell this is where they got some of this stuff, so that's pretty cool, and the yeah, and so then Bullseye's released from prison already.
Yeah, he's already back.
I'm just like, really? That fast, huh?
Revolving door, I guess. Yeah.
And we get another battle, and Daredevil ends up in the back of a truck, and um, but but the artwork was really cool.
Yeah.
I'm really starting to enjoy it now. I'm really digging what Frank Miller's doing, like you said, with all the stuff he's doing there. I really liked the entrance of the Kingpin into New York and how he arrived in his Kingpinish way, and so that was
Yeah.
really cool. I really like these have been probably my two favorite issues so far.
I agree.
I think
Yeah.
things are picking up.
Yeah. It may just be my head, but I wanted to ask you and anyone listening, does the Kingpin on these pages not look like Vincent D'Onofrio? It looks just like him. I don't know if they casted him because of that. Obviously, he's a great actor, but there's some panels that look like spot on Vincent D'Onofrio. The Kingpin does. Like, wow, they
Yeah,
nailed that casting.
I think that's more of the people who were directing and creating the show were trying to capture the panels in a certain way. So I think they shot it in a way that's going to capture what they got out of these books, and that you can see the work they put into the show when you go back and read this stuff.
Yeah, really cool though. Yeah, I'm really starting to, like you said, Frank Miller starting to develop his little tricks and his. Yeah, I'm starting to enjoy it a lot more. I just hope we continue building on the Kingpin story and not week to week villain of the week.
Right. Yeah. And I think the fact that he's keeping Bullseye around
Mhm.
I think is going to be leading to that. And like this issue wasn't wrapped up with a bow at all.
Right.
It definitely was a to be continued thing. So yeah, I think we're heading in the right direction here.
I liked when Daredevil found Bullseye and he's like, "I just saved your life a few weeks ago." He's like, "Oh well, look, I'm back, sucker." Yeah,
Suck. We'll
I
bully on
like
you.
Bullseye though. I think Bullseye is a funny. I never really knew much about him, but I really enjoyed like his sense of humor and he's so like off the wall nuts.
Yeah.
So I enjoy the character, even though he should have just been crushed by the train. But
He should be dead. Yeah.
he should be dead. Yeah. Whatever. So so next week we'll do issues 171 and 172. We hope you join us. Like we mentioned, you can get it for free on Libya or Hoopla. Read along with us and let us know what your thoughts are on the Frank Miller run of Daredevil. Yeah, good week. We only had one trombone this week. Yeah, not too bad.
That's a great thing.
Yeah, it's a good thing. Yeah, it was my stubbornness too, I think, because I knew I didn't like the book and I still kept buying it. So that's my fault. Self-inflicted trombone. But with all that said,
blame your curator. There we go.
Yeah, it's me. It's my fault. But with all that said, Jarrod, where can people find you?
You can find me at the Fantasy Thinker YouTube channel. You can find me on Speculation Podcast, and you can find me on the Oscars Project on Film Chewing.
Yeah, we are in the 80s in the Oscars Project. We are watching every Best Picture winner from 1960 to current day, and we are currently in the 80s. So if that is of all interesting to you, we've watched some really great movies and some not so good movies, but it's been a fun journey.
Indeed.
Yeah. So thanks everyone for hanging out with us. Let us know what you pulled this week, what you enjoyed, what you didn't like, what got your trombone, and we hope that you find your pick of the week.
Bye-bye now.